I think really that the desire was, well, one, they kind of look like big flowers, so that's an obvious parallel. But two, we wanted to slowly introduce these elements of man-made civilization into the world. So like the first two levels have no trace of man anywhere. And then we slowly start introducing that so that, you know, the final level, the whole theme is sort of bringing harmony to the city and bringing nature and man together. So windmills are kind of the first flower-like structure that man has made that we kind of introduced to the player.
I remember one big thing with the windmills is that they actually give you a little boost when you go through them.
Yeah.
But it was really like towards the end of development where we were just sort of like, wait a minute, does that make sense? Like a windmill isn't actually generating anything. Yeah.
I don't think it really mattered.
It's gamer logic.
It was fun to just boost around.
It is one of those things where you don't question it as a gamer, but if you were to think about it, it wouldn't make too much sense.
There's some secrets in that cave.
Yeah,
There's a reason why it's blue.
Yeah.
What secrets will be revealed? This canyon area was designed by, was modeled by Daniel Haas, is that true?
That's true.
The bacon canyons?
Yes, this texture was dubbed the bacon texture because it kind of looks like bacon. And
very creative.
You had a fun time laying out all these textures. This is quite a complex object.
I remember the collision for this object is a huge pain in the butt, but actually, like, is nothing compared to the collision we did for every building in Journey.
This is the easy stuff.
Yeah, this is easy stuff now.
Oh my.
That's familiar.
I wish they were actually like floating or something. I don't know.
Well, we accomplished that in Journey, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, the long-awaited dreams finally fulfilled.
Finally realized.
Oh, Vince, can you talk about the sound design for these flowers? Like, they are the first level where you actually hear human voice when you touch the flower.
Oh yeah. Well, every flower is actually unique in terms of the instrument. And originally, I was just sort of arbitrarily deciding, okay, I've got a color here. It's kind of like this instrument. And after a while, it actually sort of boiled down to just I don't know. I think a lot of it was actually the placement of the flowers that was really dictating all the instrument choices. So I was like playing a lot and be like, okay, there's lots of these flowers and they're in these clumps and these groups. So that really lends itself to this particular instrument. So, okay, a group of these flowers would be a guitar chord. And this group of flowers would be, okay, a trio of human voices. But these would be a line of flowers, so we would do an actual, like this could actually be a line.
So the placement of flower is almost like notes on a music sheet.
Right. It's like actually, instead of just thinking about instruments, it was trying to go with actual performance idioms for the instruments. And that really decided a lot of that.
This is always my favorite patch of flowers.
Bells here.
Yeah,
It actually builds up, right? Like,
yeah, it still gets really thick.
there's some special logic there for.
Yeah, for a while you had to collect 100% of the flowers that spawn there, so you'd miss like one, and then spend a long time wondering why you couldn't progress. So
Hard to figure out which one is an open
but
one.
I think you only have to collect like 80%.
Well, that was sort of a callback to the original lawnmower prototype.
Yeah, the lawnmower prototype. That's a good one.
We actually had to design these. You see these little bubbles around the flowers to indicate which one was not touched yet, because initially it was just you'd see a bud, you know, one that has a blossom, and that wasn't really readable from far away.
So you have this little glow effect around the ones you have to.
I remember
It's like a bubble.
having this sense of like actually just wanting to keep it all very natural, even though we were making levels with purple grass and everything like that. But like anytime we introduced something like that glow, it was always very hard on me because it's like,
Well, it's a big decision because you don't want to overdo it.
Yeah, definitely we're trying to avoid any sort of gamey indicators or HUD systems, and that was probably the closest this game ever got.
Yeah.
Just that bubble effect.
I've always liked those big patches of flowers that we just came across, especially after you open them, because they also all make a sound even after they've been opened. And I've always liked that sound.
It's a metallic sound, right?
Yeah. It's metallic, but it's sort of kind of like it becomes almost like a synth pad on top of the existing music.
Ooh, this guy's on the right side of the table.
Yeah, it's a little confusing there.
Why is it like that? I wonder.
I wonder.
Let's see. Let's find out what happens next. Blue flower, delicious.
So one interesting thing is we spent a long time trying to write the swarming simulation for how your avatar would look in terms of each petal getting added to it, and it seems kind of funny now looking back, but we rewrote that system many times.
How much should it get in your face when you're flying?
It still does, though, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But,
we kept creating that.
but it used to be a lot worse, I guess.
This level is interesting because there was a lot of talk about cutting it. And I think that actually it's extremely important for the overall narrative of the game. So I'm really glad that we didn't end up doing that.
Yeah, we had it cut for a while, and then we had to re-add it because the narrative wasn't working and the game was too short.
This is
You're
the
right, I
level,
think it was the right decision.
This is the level where you start to realize something is changing and it's not all green grass anymore, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, the power lines here up close.
So, yeah, like Nick was saying, there's this progression of man-made structures coming into the game, and the most innocuous one is the windmill, and then you see these power lines which look similar to the windmill but are a little bit more for boating and
Is the painting mechanic coming back?
Right, you kind of reused it here as a painting glow into the grass.
The glow engineer.
Yeah, this is glow theory. If you're familiar with flow, in the flow commentary, you learned about glow theory. And
wasn't it flow theory?
Well, we had flow theory. I guess you missed it. We had flow theory and then glow theory.
Right.
So flows for gameplay, glows for visuals.
Glow, much more important than
Yeah.
flow theory.
we had to do some cool hacks there. I don't know if you saw it, but we wanted the player area to be progressively expanded as you finished each section, we kind of masked out everything in black. We painted the grass black outside of your visible area, and then once you complete a section, we kind of paint the grass its normal color, and you can move into new area.
we actually also sort of wanted to make the player sort of have a light here.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see like it's lighting up the grass it's flying over, but we're actually just sort of painting the grass white and then painting it black behind the player.
Yeah, a lot of hacks
I
going
think I
on.
can turn off this light here if I just go through with it. No? All right, good coding. Well programmed. Okay.
So these haystacks are a reference to Monet painting, did a series of paintings of haystacks.
I didn't even know that.
Yes, things you learn in commentary.
I always liked.
I was like, oh, there's haystacks.
However, he knew nothing about glow theory. His were not glowing.
So we've improved upon.
So Monet would be very pleased.
I actually always like the sound of these haystacks when they glow, and that's of course the sound designer Steve Johnson, and he had a really good story to go along with that. He always remembered your comment, Genova, about how it should sound like zipping up your coat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I said something like that?
Yeah.
Right.
He liked it. I remember it. I thought it was cool.
Here's the Dreamcast logo coming up there.
It actually kind of reminds me of those cornfields with the symbols, you know.
Oh, the crop circles?
Crop circles,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I remember we had a playtest for this level, and someone who played the game said something that was really some really nice feedback about how it reminded him of his childhood in the country and laying down at night and seeing the stars and just breathing the air in nature. I felt like that was a real big success.
Well, I remember. So this was the level that Nick. This is another level Nick was really pushing to get in, and I remember that guy saying he was from Texas, and that's where Nick's from as well. So.
Oh, you remember that guy too, huh?
Yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah,
Good.
yeah. That guy's real.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is go to the wagon wheel.
Yeah.
The wagon.
There's
wheel.
the wagon
Oh,
wheel,
there's
and
also
then
the
there's
pond.
the pond. Yeah.
Oh yes, the
Right.
pond
So
or water
direct me to the
technology.
wagon wheel.
You are
gentlemen.
going the wrong way, but you've already going to the secret flower.
Oh my.
The pond should be there.
Pond. Okay, here's a pond.
There's supposed to be frogs down here.
Let's see. Let's listen for it.
Implied life.
The pond does not live up all the time.
That particle effect.
I think you're supposed to be glowing there
dirty.
when you get there, though, right?
Oh, you have to glow.
There's
yeah, I think
another
you have
pond.
To paint.
I think you have to paint it.
There's another one.
Complicated.
Oh.
The
you just
most
have to-
complex
just have to touch
geometry.
it.
That was
Yeah. Look at our
We
wheel
like it 'cause
animation
we work out.
technology.
Cool.
Oh, there's that wheel turn sound. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
squeaking. There's the other pond over there, I think.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
glow now and try to touch it.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Let's touch the pond.
This big shape that you fill in always reminded me of a jelly bean.
Yeah.
I feel like Flower was the game where all of the maps for the levels, when you looked at them zoomed out in the editor, looked like body parts.
Really?
Stomach or kidneys.
Hey,
or
there's
something.
the frog.
Yeah, we're getting some frogs. Ooh, ender trophy.
Yeah, these water effects were reused in Journey. To the chagrin of many of the team members.
Fill in the line.
I've always liked this stage because it had this one continuous piece of music. It's pretty sparse, but yes, I absolutely adore the English horn. It just keeps on going, and I personally don't get tired of it. I love it.
I think it really sets the tone. And it's
Monster still works.
Yeah, still like glow.
Satisfying.
Yeah,
there's
nothing
the
beats
opposite
glow
of
theory.
theory coming up. That's pretty scary.
There's the evil encroaching. John had to do some cool hacks with the grass tech to make like these sharp, angular. I don't know what you called them.
This is the debris packs.
Debris, yeah.
Debris.
Kind of evil grass.
Yeah, we actually have 3 different grass systems running at all times.
This part was really fun to design because there's no lighting. We're only using fog to give you this depth, these blinking lights, and all these silhouettes. It was really fun.
Yeah, you have a very creepy feeling, not exactly knowing what is flying
keep on
by you.
Kicking up all these things. What are those?
Debris.
Debris.
Debris is the best
Debris.
game designer tool.
They remind me of those tile spacers. You know, at first I thought they were X's, then I kept on seeing them as black tile spacers.
Tile space.
Yeah.
That is a kind of debris, in fact.
Yeah.
So that is something very ominous.
If we just had the debanding tech from Journey now. Gotta make a patch, guys. Gotta go back.
Yeah, after Journey, Flower's graphics does look like it needs some upgrade.
Well, that's what Journey was. It was Flower 2.0.
Yeah.
Actually, those falling leaves petals have an interesting story behind them.
Surprisingly difficult to implement a falling leaf.
Yes,
In code.
I really wanted to have this arced path for those to fall down on the pod because I wanted them to feel lightweight like petals, but the system we were using didn't support animation, so I did an animation of one in Maya, and then I showed it to John, and I said, could you do something like this with your code? And he did a prototype with sine waves and
That might have been a sleep under the desk night. I think.
I remember coming in the next day and thinking, John, you are crazy.
Yeah, in the end, we implemented an animation system, and That's what's in the game.
The sine waves
Did
just
not do it in
didn't catch
code. John Henry lost to the steam engine that day.
This part is always fun to watch playtesters play this part because it's the first part where your character can get zapped.
These look relatively harmless. These black glowing pieces of debris should be friendly. Let's say hello.
So this is actually the first time we at Dagon Companies trying to do something negative. You know, like
Whoa, I'm on fire.
it's actually
Oh, you just lost pedals.
we wanted to create
Man.
a kind of like a negative experience for the player, so that afterwards it will feel the positive will feel even stronger. But I would, looking back, I think this might be a little bit over the top.
I think it was a little too long, maybe, but the overall sentiment I think is necessary. It's good.
It definitely delivers a more powerful punch to at the end of the game due to this journey through the darkness.
Now, I heard from one fan that there's a trophy here that you're supposed to be able to unlock by not getting hit, and that she was never able to unlock it. So, if anyone else has that problem, we apologize.
It's really difficult.
It is very difficult to do, and if you actually do it and don't get the trophy, that's a little disappointing.
It just adds to the impact of the level, I think.
Yeah, actually, maybe
Pushes you
that's
down more.
Despair.
Yeah.
These power structures were no fun to model.
I remember there's a lot of Matanava physics in this level.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward
Yes,
to talking about that in
Yeah,
a few
we're
minutes.
not seeing it yet here. In this level, I feel very slow controlling this. Do we slow
Well, that's
clear
because
down?
you lost pedals.
You speed up the more pedals you get, so
When you get zapped, pedals get fried, and then you slow down.
yeah. So there's actually a incentive to not get zapped.
So one thing that we did in this level is we have these spikes in the terrain, and in Journey, I really didn't want to have those spikes. I think that the technology we used.
Oh!
Careful.
John,
My
careful.
goodness, I should have seen those sparks there. I need those pedals, man.
Yeah, the terrain was a bit more primitive and forward.
I think everything was, except the grass technology.
Well,
Yeah.
the
It was
grass
a step
technology
back in
survived
Journey.
in Journey for quite a while.
Yeah.
That's it's hard to let go of some
John couldn't
things.
remove it.
We tried to turn it into sand technology.
There were several
Looked more
attempts.
Looked more like mold, though.
We got it to look like lice eventually. So it's the best we could achieve.
I remember Martin kept on bugging John with this, are you going to delete the grass yet? And I was like,
Eventually he won. We needed the memory.
I like the silhouetting on the top of that ridge with the little power line spikes. It looks cool.
that was definitely, the spike shapes definitely give it a sense of ominous.
Wait, we should try to see one of the tower falling down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Definitely. This is Matanava physics.
Let's go hunt out some Matanava physics.
So one thing that a lot of people might think is that we're using some sort of physics engine in this game.
It's a common misconception.
The reality is we're using a Matanava physics engine.
And how does that work?
Well, it basically it
You
means
need to
I animated everything that falls over. John, do you remember how to play this game?
I think you missed,
Something about
you missed
flowers,
one of the
right?
flower patches back there. I don't know where the collapsing tower is though.
It's that
That's it?
that piece, I
This one?
think.
Over here?
I think so.
Did I miss a flower?
No, you don't touch the flower to make it fall. I think it just it's supposed to fall if you pass a certain area.
Maybe.
Maybe it's that one, right?
Okay, it could be that one, John, to the right. That one.
Okay.
Well,
So
it's
are we
it's gonna be
trying?
surprising whichever one it
Yeah.
is.
That's the amazing part about Nova Physics. You never. Oh my!
That one!
Look at that bonus there.
Wow.
That's pretty
That's
convincing.
Good. Well,
Oh,
at
we get a
least-
secret out of it.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
feel this is a fair trade right here.
cool. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough, designers. Alright. Let's get out of here.
There's only one way to go, John.
So I think initially you had to collect 5 patches of flowers. I don't know. This level used to be way longer, but cut it down to 3. Still kind of long though.
You can see there are these pipes leading to the exit to hopefully guide the player.
Yeah.
And now the most impressive now.
That is nice.
I really like the twang that the lines
Yeah.
make when they snap.
That really felt
sells
good
it.
when that came in.
Is that Nova Physics as well?
That's
called
Vince.
Steve Johnson sound design there.
I see.
Yeah.
Alright. So are we entering the maze?
Yeah, this is the start of it.
Always just hug the right wall. That's how you get
Interesting.
through a
I always
maze.
go to the left.
Oh, you're left-handed.
That's true, but
So are you.
The secret's out.
Oh, I don't know if there's that thing in front of you on the. There's these wind ribbons that fly past you.
Yeah, we never mentioned that.
And those are a system implemented to kind of very subtly guide the player as to where they're supposed to be going. I forget what we called them. We called them
Whispers or something.
Oh,
wind guides. That's what we called them. Yeah.
I like how when you let go of a button and decelerate the objects, the whole time of the game slows down. So if something's falling on your head, you slow down, it actually slows down the falling object. It's kind of a neat effect.
Yeah, that effect was originally added to the game just so you can see the flowers slowly blooming. But in the end, it actually became useful for the gameplay.
Alright, doing a trench run here.
Whoa!
Are you gonna get hit?
I don't
Oh,
know.
you made it halfway.
It's pretty good, John. You're pretty good.
I've played a lot of flower.
But we will get you.
There's no way! Oh, it's brutal.
It's over.
Oh, this is so
No
painful.
trophy for you.
Oh man.
Yeah, the trick is you actually should fly high so it's less likely you'll be hit.
I just need to point out that Vince did jump.